What up, what up, what up, everybody? What up, world? Welcome to the Fanatic Sports Podcast, episode 13, the luckiest episode yet, right? Everybody's always so ill about episode 13. The number 13, and it's some weird numbers out there, right? 666, 13. I guess probably those only two that I can think of that are kind of, I don't know, unlucky. I don't really believe in luck. I don't think. Old head told me that luck is just when uh, preparation meets opportunity. So for me, luck isn't a real thing. So you're not unlucky. You're unprepared. You're not lucky. You were ready and in the right spot. However, I will admit, uh, fortune favors the bold, and there's been some situations with, some games with like the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been very prepared for the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess if I had to think about, lucky teams, the Patriots during their big run for 20 years were very, prepared for the opportunity, lucky, if you will. They had a lot of things go their way. But I guess if I think about it from a championship standpoint, like you got to be a little lucky. You know what I mean? Things got to fall. Certain chips have got to fall specific ways to get them to get to where you are, to get to the championship. You think about it, right? That year that the Rams lost to the Patriots when Cooper Kupp was hurt, and it was, so this was defensive pitchers duel. It was 13-6, I think, was the final score or something like that, right? Like, the Rams defense was just absurd that year, but offensively, Jared Goff was not making big plays. The receivers weren't doing anything big. They couldn't get the running game going. They had Brandon Cooks wide open, and this bro just dropped Jared Goff put a dime in the basket and he just dropped it. And that would have been a touchdown. And that would have made it 14 to 13, something like that, final score. If the defense plays the way they played, who knows what happens, right? It lots of things could go lots of ways if we don't, based on ifs. And if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So, you know what I mean? Like you can't live in the hypotheticals, but I mean, the Patriots have had a lot of things go their way. What if Seattle just runs another dive play with beast mode, or runs a stretch play, or runs a quarterback bootleg and lets Russell, young, good legs Russell, walk into the end zone instead of throwing that crazy interception he threw? Or what if a Curse just runs a real route instead of, lollygagging through it, right? What if, right? But, luck is what luck is. So, I don't believe it's luck. I believe that the Patriots were prepared for that route and jumped the route. And Malcolm Butler, who, crazy enough, man, he had that one shining moment, and the years that followed were less than stellar. But, he had that moment where he was able to do his thing. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not luck to me. That's hard work. You win a ring. I refuse to call that luck. Luck is when something happens that's not supposed to happen. And most things happen because they're supposed to happen. So to me, I can't get behind the idea of, oh, it's unlucky. The Chiefs are lucky to be at 9-0 or whatever they're at, right? That ain't luck, man. Isaiah Likely came down with his foot in bounds. You got to know where the ball is, where your line is. Like, that's you. You got to know where your line is, and there's no getting around that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the Chiefs are lucky that Isaiah Likely didn't know where his foot was, to do the thing, to get his foot in bounds and make his way, score the game-winning touchdown. I mean, that's great for them, but, somebody pushed him. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to go back and watch the play, and I don't care enough about the Chiefs or the Ratbirds to do that. So, but that ain't luck to me, man. You are you are, he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and I guess that's fortunate for the Chiefs. I don't like the phrase luck. I'm not big on luck. Hence why I'm not afraid of the number 13. But we can jump into some of my, there's a few favorite players I got that wear the number 13 that to me, I do. It is interesting to me that I can't think of very many people, in any sport, whether it's NASCAR or football, basketball, baseball. Maybe the most lucky number 13 was what? Alex Rodriguez? Like, yeah, I think A-Rod wore 13, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he did win a couple rings. So, to that extent, there's he did win a couple rings, but all in all, like, it wasn't like he was just like he did make a lot of money and he did ball. But I mean, like, a lot of the Yankees fans will tell you that he didn't have a great run because while he was in New York, and he wore 13 all throughout his career, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I'm pretty sure he was 13 with Texas, and I'm pretty sure he was 13 with Seattle as well. He played that short a time ago. I did not know that A-Rod retired in 16. I felt like he retired long before that. But I guess 16 was 8 years ago, so there we have it. But yeah, I mean that was Jazz Chisholm wears 13 now, right? So yeah, but that is the number 13. Dan Marino was number 13. Never made it made one Super Bowl, right? And never. Oh, he was number 3. A-Rod was number 3 in Texas and Seattle. So he was just number 13 in New York because I think Babe Ruth wore number 3 in Seattle. And he did not have a good go of it once he got there. And he chose 13, as I'm reading through this, in honor of Dan Marino, a Miami native also, or A-Rod was a Miami native and had grown up watching Dan Marino, who wore 13, who never won a Super Bowl. One of the most prolific passers in the NFL and never won a Super Bowl, wearing the number 13. Paul George wore 13 for a long time, and we watched some really unlucky moments for him. And so
what up?
Dude, what's going on? The angry Puerto Rican is here. Let me ask you. So we're on episode number 13.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking about, and I was like, well, episode 13, ew, unlucky, right? So it got me to thinking about all the people who've worn the number 13 through in any sport, whether it be NASCAR, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, right? The number 13 is kind of revered. Some people, like, I've been to hotels, working in the hotel world where they don't have a 13th floor. So you go to floor 12 or you go to floor 14, but not 13, right? There's not a 13th floor. And I'm trying to remember the last place I've been. Probably KC. I think when I was in Kansas City, was the last hotel I stayed in that had over 13 floors, and I don't think they had a 13th floor. If I remember correctly.
I'm looking at some of the notable players who wore 13.
Okay.
The 13 best players to wear number 13.
I like it.
Wilt Chamberlain, Don Navy, Dan Marino, Kurt Warner, Alex Rodriguez, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen. Who else? Let's get this loaded real quick. Ty Hilton, Joakim Noah, Ken Riley from the Buffalo Bills, Jake Scott, Bam.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo wears. Yeah,
that's it.
Right. So, all right. So, looking through this, The biggest names I think of, Kurt Warner, who had a great career, won a Super Bowl. He went to three Super Bowls, or started in three Super Bowls. And so he had a solid career. Alex Rodriguez won one World Series, two World Series, right? Where in New York. Let me jump on his Wikipedia. Odell Beckham wore 13 and won a Super Bowl, but he didn't wear that Super Bowl.
Just one.
He didn't win that Super Bowl wearing 13. He was wearing number 3. With the Rams. Let's see here. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs wearing 13. Alessandro Nesta is a professional football player and coach. I'll admit I don't know nearly enough about soccer. I was talking with football, as they call it. I was talking with my aunt. So my aunt is so my family is big on sports. Like, so, I told you, like, my this aunt is the daughter of my mom's dad. It's my mom's baby sister. And so, I was telling you, my mom's whole family is very, very sports oriented. All of her brother and sisters play sports. Her dad was the shortest of 3 boys, at 6'4", that played sports. And so now my aunt has 2 sons who are, which, shout out to Jalen and Jordan. Jordan's the oldest, and then Jalen's a step behind him. They're the year behind him. They're both getting recruited to Arkansas. So Jalen, you'll be happy about this. Jalen is 17. 17. He's got a birthday coming up soon. And he is 6'6", 360 pounds.
Damn. Wow.
Quick feet. Right now, he's at Maumelle High. Right now, they got him at right tackle. He could probably play left or right. But he's a big, strong kid. And so he's actually going to Arkansas this weekend to visit for an unofficial visit, I believe. And then he's got a visit with Mississippi State.
He better not go this week. This is a bad week for him to visit.
Oh, no,
it's a bad week to visit.
So you want to know one of the interesting things to me about recruiting that I've never really said out loud, but I think about it a lot. Even so one of the things, you remember Clint Sterner, right?
Yeah.
Big time quarterback, came out in 95 from Arkansas. So one of the things they said to him was they brought him to a game where Arkansas got cooked. I mean, got pounded. And so after the game, every player came by, and he'll verify the story for you. Every player came by and said, "Hey, yo, we need you here. We need you." And so they spent a lot. I mean, that was the selling point for him, was watching Arkansas get beat. Was sometimes can be a better recruiting trick, depending on, obviously depending on the recruit and what they're looking for, things like that. But sometimes that can be a better selling point, is that, hey, you're going to come in and be an immediate impact for us. We have the team, and that was kind of the case with Sterner, is that we have the team and the players, but when we get the quarterback we need, we're going to be really, really good. And so at that point, all it is are you the quarterback we need? Because you could go to Texas Tech, or you could go to, and I don't remember his recruiting process to know fully, what all options he had on the table. But I mean, it was the mid 90s. So it's not like, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Texas was probably pretty good in the mid 90s, but A&M was okay, not great. And then, but like a lot of times there's, depending on, who's at quarterback, how much you want to stay. And so Sterner came to Arkansas, started like, if I'm not mistaken, he started out 4 years. 3 or 4 years, something like that. Like, he had a long, prosperous career. And obviously we didn't win a ring, and we didn't get the conference championship and all that extra stuff. But I mean, he's a legend. He's absolutely a legend. And I know he's down in Houston now doing radio and I think perhaps television. But he was, I mean, the guy was. Sometimes you could come, especially a place like Arkansas. One of the really dope things about Arkansas is that when you put on that Razorback jersey, you're a rock star. There's nobody better than the Razorbacks in the state of Arkansas, right? Like
Arkansas State.
Better? Arkansas Tech too. I guess if we're just counting D1 double.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of throwing shade at our team, man. Just because of that debacle.
Well, so
bye week, and
maybe Ole Miss is for real this year. I know they ended up eventually losing them to LSU, who may be a good team, but they went out and cooked Georgia. They went out and beat Georgia just as badly as they beat us. Like it wasn't. I mean, they didn't score 60 on Georgia, but it wasn't close. Nobody thought Georgia was going to win in the middle of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, so maybe this Ole Miss team finally is good. One of the most deflating thoughts about it, though, was that this is what's the head coach's name over there?
For who?
For Ole Miss, the head coach for Ole Miss,
Kiffin.
Yeah. This was Lane Kiffin's first win against the top 5 opponent at Ole Miss. And the crazy thing about that is this is what Lane Kiffin's 5th or 6th year, something to that effect at Ole Miss, and he's had crazy recruiting classes, top 5, top 10. He's been at the top of the list a couple times with recruiting at Ole Miss, and this is his first time getting his first win against a top 5 opponent at Ole Miss. With the amount of talent that's come through, this is 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's at USC. Where are we at? This is his
4th year.
4th year. And I want to say he's had at least 2, maybe 3 top 5 recruiting classes at Ole Miss, man. There's something to be said about that, bro. And this is your first time, like your first top 5 win. That is crazy to me. That's crazy to think that he hadn't been able to turn it around, or turn it into progress sooner. But they're 8-2 right now, man. 8-2. They lost their losses this year.
LSU.
Yeah, I do remember LSU, and then I'm trying to remember the other one was. I want to say it was a big game, probably Alabama. I would suspect, right? I mean, not that it matters. 2 losses don't matter anymore. And you can have 2 losses and still be and still make the playoffs now. And I'm not sad about that. I'm not sad about that, but at the same time,
Kentucky beat them.
Kentucky, wow.
Kentucky's played some good football this year, though, man. You got to look at that. Look at what they've done this year, man. They've played some really hard fought football games, man.
I know they played Georgia really closely as well.
Yep.
And so I think about that also. They're not it's not like they're just out here getting pounded every week and then just went out and beat Ole Miss. Then that's a good football team. That's a good football team. Man, but
Georgia beat them by 1 point.
Yeah. Georgia beat it. It was like and it wasn't like it was 31-32 or it was
13-12.
Like it was like 13-12. Like it was close. Very, very close, very low scoring game. And look, I gotta tell you, I gotta say it on air because I couldn't find the post so I was chatting with some people, and I like to go and comment on different sports posts, all on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. So at the beginning of the season, there was a guy. Shout out to the Casual Pod. He was talking about the college football game, and he had made a little content about the college football game as it came out, and so. He said that NCAA got it right, and I absolutely agree with him. I thought NCAA did what Madden hadn't done in 5 years, which was made an outstanding, logical, reasonable football game, video game. And so in talking about that, nobody was over a 96 ratings wise. But so there were people that were complaining about Shador and Travis Hunter being the highest rated at their positions. And of course, Travis being the highest rated at receiver and cornerback. And so I said, well, who would be better than those two at cornerback? The first two names that came out were Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck. And I said, let's not get this mistaken. They may have done more with the talent they have around them. Or I'm sorry, they've been more successful, at Texas and Georgia. But there's not a better quarterback. And I know Cam Ward has really come on this year and been really, really good. But at that point in the season, the start of the season, there was not a better quarterback than Shador Sanders. And I'll be honest and tell you, I think Cam Ward's good. I don't think he's better than Shador right now. I think Shador is playing the best football at quarterback. And from that standpoint, I don't believe that in this draft coming up that there's going to be a better quarterback than Shador. Now, I don't know if he's going to go number one, which I kind of feel like he should.
I think he is, because I think he's going to go to the Raiders.
Yeah, and are they the worst team? They're the worst team in the league right now?
No.
Well, so one of the interesting things about NFL right now, the NFL right now is there's some really bad football being played. And so, we didn't get a chance to visit the trade deadline in totality like I had planned on doing. But one of the things that's kind of interesting is this year we're seeing something like what the NBA does all the time. Like in the NBA, the National Basketball Association, there is, you're either at the very, very top and you're winning 56 games a season, or you're only winning 22. Like you're in the dumps or you're at the top of the mountain, and anywhere in between is really, really bad for you. And I don't know if this has always been a process with the NFL, but it's becoming more prevalent.
Look, it's been bad football all year.
Yeah.
I don't like them playing, and I know they're trying to build the empire of what you call the NFL, but I don't like them playing in London. I don't like them playing in Germany. I don't like them. I don't think it's good for football. Like, granted, those football fans enjoy it, and they like to watch the NFL, but I feel like it takes away from a normal schedule.
Yeah,
like Jacksonville's always in London or Germany every year.
They were there 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
they were overseas 2 weeks in a row. So I'm trying to remember the travel schedule for it, but I don't think they came home.
No, obviously. They didn't.
I think they stayed in that area of Europe. I don't think they came home, if I remember correctly. So I got the standings pulled up, right? We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with 2 wins: Jacksonville, Giants, Raiders, Titans, Browns. Also very interesting to note that it's not the best teams going over the pond, right? It's always the Giants and the Panthers and the Jags, and these teams are usually not very good. It's almost as bad as getting the HBO Hard Knocks. Like, the Hard Knocks teams are the worst teams in the league, and we're trying to watch them grow. Usually it's really bad teams going over the pond to play ball.
Like I said, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan, and I'm not knocking, playing across seas, you know what I mean? Like saying that the country is bad or anything like that.
Not the country,
I just feel like it's bad enough on their schedule. It's bad. Like, how do you don't prepare for that? You got a long 14-hour flight, like I don't know, man. I feel like it takes a lot, and it takes a toll on the body, as a football player, like you feel like it does that. No, I'm just not a big fan of it, man. I'm really not.
I don't like it. But I understand the point behind it, because you think about remember this summer, I don't know if this was the Olympics or what, but there was some like world football game that ended with Japan beating the plum breaks off of the America of all places. And it was like 20 and under football. So like these were 20-year-olds, like college kids, if you will, playing ball against Japan, and scores like 41-20 or something like that. Something really, really like America got beat by 3 scores in this football game. And not, this wasn't flag, this wasn't soccer, this was American football, and Japan beat the brakes off us. I don't know who these players were. I really haven't. I've never even gone to look up the roster to understand who these players were. But I mean, I was just confused about it. But I mean, and look, I'll be honest with you. That part is good. But I don't understand. I don't understand. You know, how we get beat at our own sport by Japan. And but yeah, it was. I mean, it was really, really. So from that standpoint, I kind of see why they would want to, take it further. But yeah, I don't like the game. It looks fine, and hey, it's big money for them. But me personally, I don't see it. I don't like the pop.
I don't know, man. I'm just not.
I see the positive everybody else is seeing.
I don't either. It's one of those deals where you look back and you're just like, man, NFL, I get what you're doing. I get what you're trying to do. But to establish something like that and just feel like you're not bringing anything to the game. Like playing across seas is not bringing anything to the game. I don't like getting up at. I'm gonna tell you, I don't like getting up at 8:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to watch to watch a football game. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that, man. Like, it bothers me, man. Like, it really does.
And you know what? Like, and again, we're waking up at 8 o'clock to see the Giants versus the Panthers. Those two-win teams. Who wants to see that? Like, there's no way you playing this thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna have a great game between Daniel Jones and Bryce Young, like two top 10 picks that were bust. Like, no way, man. No way, man. Well, look, man. I started off rambling, and just kind of letting things flow. So let's take a quick break, and but before we do, man, look, tell me about the best salsa in the world.
Oh man, you're funny, man. You're funny. It is the greatest, not the best, the greatest. You want to know why?
The greatest salsa.
Yeah. Well, you want to know why it is? Let me just be honest with you, man. You want to know why it is? It's because I make it. I make it with love. All right. Like, I really do. I make it with love. I do everything with love. And that's the way it's supposed to be, man. And you got to look at it. And I want people to understand something, man. Like, when making this salsa, I don't just make it to like, how to say, I don't make it for the money. I want people to understand that. I don't make it for the money. I make it because of the love, man. It's great. It's one of those deals where I'm like, I'm excited to have, I'm excited to see people's smiles. If that makes any sense, man. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see people tell me, hey, man, this is great salsa, man. I want more, man. Or, hey, man, I put it on this. I do this. That's why I make salsa, dude. And that's why I like to do it.
You think about, I know you talked about delivering it to Antonio, and then, the guys from Run Your Mouth can attest to this. When Ant took them salsa, we ended up getting linking back up a few days later to do some content and things like that. And man, they were just raving about this salsa. And so, to his point, this is not a joke. This is not some fabricated thought, man. It really is. The smiles, the love that food brings, the love that food brings for anybody, you get that from Angry Salsa. And that's why he says, give him the slogan, please.
Yo, man, you could be a happy, angry customer. You could be a happy, angry customer. Get ready to have your taste buds ignited by angry salsa. This isn't your ordinary salsa. It's packed with fiery flavor that keep you on the edge of your seat. Whether you're cheering for your team or snacking while watching the game, Angry Salsa will add a spicy kick to your game day experience. So grab a jar of Angry Salsa and take your taste buds on an exhilarating ride. Angry Salsa, fueling the fire flavor. Become a happy, angry customer today by contacting me, your very own Angry Puerto Rican. My name is Anthony Roman, and if you need to get your salsa, please hit me up. I'm available on all social media platforms.
That's Angry Salsa from our very own Angry Puerto Rican.
And they can be happy angry. They can be happily angry, man, while eating it. You know, it's okay, man. It's great.
Such a great slogan. We'll be right back on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Welcome back to the Fanatic Sports Podcast here on the Fanatic Sports Network. Look, man, so first and foremost, before we talk about more of our awesome sponsors, I did want to announce one of the very dope things that I was able to, a partnership that I was able to foster just this past week or in the past couple of days. Very excited. You guys saw him on episode 5 with the athletic nerd. but Noel Sosa, and he did talk about his podcast, Fair Ones and Fairways, which is on all streaming platforms right now. I listen to it on Spotify. But you can find it on Apple and wherever your favorite podcasts are. The audio is being played. You definitely can find it. Fair Ones and Fairways. Very excited though.
Floyd Mayweather's still the best boxer in the world.
I can't wait for you to jump on with them and tell them this. But we're excited to partner with Fair Ones and Fairways at the Fanatic Sports Group to be able to produce the aesthetics and the visuals for their podcast as they start the video portion, which will be starting very, very soon. I know they recorded, I think today or tomorrow for the next episode, and the episode after that is when we'll start putting together some great visuals for them. So very, very excited to get the opportunity to work with them. And to that point, one of the things that we talked a lot about here is our partnership. In every game, every sport, teamwork is key. Like nobody does it alone. Even in a one sport like boxing, teamwork is still necessary. They still have a team, a cut man, a manager, the trainer. No man goes it alone. There's one driver in NASCAR, but there's 6-7 people that are working on everything. So super, super important, that you have a team and have a partnership. And, we're thankful for our partnerships as well. Top of the list is our good friend Letitia down in D'Iberville. She's an outstanding salesperson that's going to get you right at Astro Ford. So if you think about upgrading your ride, or you're looking for a new ride or adding an extra ride, we got the inside scoop for the best car salesperson all around, right? That's Letitia Talamontes at Astro Ford in D'Iberville. She's the go-to person for your car buying needs. Whether you're in the need for a sleek sedan or a reliable SUV, Letitia's got you covered. With her friendly smile, expert knowledge, she'll make sure you drive off the lot in style. So why wait? You'll be glad you did. Give her a call today at 228-275-FORD. That's 228-275-3673. Or you can stop by 10350 Automark Paul Way in D'Iberville. Go see Letitia at Astro Ford in D'Iberville today.
Dude, I kind of want to talk about something, man.
What you got?
What is wrong with the Bucks?
He laid back, so that's I knew it was good news, man. So I was thinking about this earlier. They are 3-7, something crazy like that, and it's blowing my mind because
3-8.
When you put that kind of talent together, you should be talking about being at the top of the list. Now, to compare, the Cavs are 12-0. That is well above what we expected from them. But I expected, the Bucks to be around where the Celtics are. They're 9-3. The Suns are 9-2. The Thunder is 9-2. Even the Warriors, 9-2. A rejuvenated team. I'm just blown away with Milwaukee 3-8. When you got an unstoppable force like Giannis, you pair him with maybe a guy with unlimited range. At this point, he may have better range than Steph. We don't know for sure because we hadn't seen him pull up the way that Steph has pulled up. But goodness, you put that kind of talent together, and it's not like it's just those two, or it shouldn't be, right? You got Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez, Chris Middleton. That's the type of team that they should be sitting at the top of the. They should be sitting at the top of the standings with the teams that have the same amount of talent as them.
Look, I'm gonna say this: you signed Chris Middleton a few years back to a lucrative contract, and that man has barely played. That man has barely played.
He's stealing money.
Wow. He kind of reminds me of God. I don't want to say it because I don't want to piss a lot of Cowboy fans off, but. He's Dak Prescott.
Well,
I know that's wrong.
That's hard.
Dude, am I wrong? He signs. He plays. He signs this lucrative contract before the same day that they play game one, first game. They signed this big lucrative contract. No, they did. All right, yeah, it was the first game. They signed this lucrative contract. They have a horrible season. CeeDee Lamb blames the sun. I can't catch the ball. Look, man, I remember playing football in the yard, sun out. Come on, man. You can't play outside.
Doesn't CD wear a visor?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe he should.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, so look, I'm looking at the injuries right now as we sit today. Giannis is day to day. He's probable for tonight's game versus Detroit. Damian Lillard's got a concussion. Chris Middleton's out with an ankle. That now I will grant you that when you look at their from a talent standpoint, that is their top three players. So I can forego some trouble today with them. I can see them why they would have trouble today. But when you really sit and you look at that team, that's not a team. You think about it. So here's the irony of all of this, right? The Bucks traded Drew Holiday as part of a deal that would bring them Dame Lillard, who was wanting out of Portland because he wanted so badly to win a championship, right? And so now makes me wonder because Dame had LaMarcus Aldridge when he got there, right? And they had a solid team when he got there. And they obviously they spent a lot of draft capital on Dame Lillard. They took him at 6, I believe it was. And they want him to come in. They let him come in and have his green light. And they came in, they gave him that because of his ability to score in college. But the question I keep asking myself is Dame Lillard the problem?
I just think the team don't want to play. I don't see it. You can have two talented players and surround them with great role players. But if the team don't want to play, you obviously see it on the court, man. If they're losing these games,
it's clear as day. It's clear as day.
I'm not gonna lie, it's disgusting to watch. Like, I watched the night before, last time they played, and I was just like, it's just Dame and Giannis. There's no camaraderie with the team. The team looks out of sync. Doc Rivers. You want to talk about another person who's stealing money? Doc Rivers.
How did he get another job? Look now,
and look what Mike Budenholzer doing in Phoenix.
He took this. Is this his first year in Phoenix?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. I want to say that this is his first year in Phoenix. Because I forgot who the coach was before then, and it wasn't even like they fired him. I think he just left. And then, they fired him after, if I'm not mistaken, they fired him after they won the championship. Last year. They fired him last year and brought in, Milwaukee did. And then I'm trying to figure out, oh, here we go, roster. Who had Mike Budenholzer is the coach.
They fired him last year, which makes no sense after being coach of the year and leading them to a championship. That's like firing Eric Spoelstra. Like, let's just be honest. That's like firing Eric Spoelstra, and then you're bringing in somebody else to think that they're going to do something.
There was a falling out between Bud and the ownership group. This was the same group that had a falling out with Jason Kidd. And there was a coach between him and Bud, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing. This ownership group starting to sound a little bit like Jerry Jones. So it's interesting that you compare Middleton to Dak Prescott. But yeah, there's some interesting things transpiring with this Milwaukee ownership group that maybe
it's wild to like look at it, and you have two of the talent. You basically two Hall of Famers on the court.
Yeah,
and they're the only ones scoring.
They really are.
Like, I'm gonna look at something real quick. I'm gonna look at something real quick.
So, and I'll tell you, man, like when you're looking at Milwaukee, and it's funny, you bring up the Suns, number one in the division, number one in the conference right now. Obviously, we're 11
Their
games.
third leading scorer. It's gonna blow your mind.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you two guesses. Who do you think their third leading scorer is without cheating and looking?
In Milwaukee?
Yeah.
I would presume it's Bobby Portis or Brook Lopez.
It's Bobby. Good. It's Bobby. It had 13 points a game.
And there's where your problem lies, because no slight to the Little Rock native, but what throws me is that he's not supposed to be the third leading scorer. That's supposed to be Chris Middleton, and then probably somewhere in there is supposed to be Brook Lopez right behind him, right? And they've got a nice rotation going where it's like, so the way it's supposed to go, I think is it's Dame, Chris Middleton. They got Taurean Prince, who's a wing defender. Then Giannis at the 4 and Brook Lopez at the 5.
You look at up and down this roster. I'm sorry, but your starting center is averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds.
Because he's old.
There's got to be a problem there. Look, there's got to be a problem. You need to go ahead and take. They need to take a step back and realize, hey, look, this ain't it. Go get some draft capital. Go make a big trade, because if you don't, you probably may not make it out of the East.
Well, the craziest thing about that, man, is you got Dame. Dame's 34. How old is Giannis? Giannis is 30 now, right? He should be 30, 32, somewhere in there. I mean, you're running out of time. That window's closing.
29.
29, yeah, almost 30. All right. So if you waste this year, you bring back 35-year-old Dame and 30-year-old Giannis.
Giannis is second in the league in scoring.
29 a game, I think.
30.7.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? And so just looking at, and you're absolutely right. You look at this squad. Let's say they go on a run, right? Because right now they're below the Hornets. And I know we're talking about 11 games. I understand that. 12 games. We'll by the end of this week, they'll be at 15 games somewhere, and most teams will. But this is not, you take the NBA 10 games at a time, right? Because that's just 8 samples. 8 samples, 10 games at a time. And this isn't a good start in their first sample, 3-8, right? When the top of the league. But I'll give you that the teams we think are going to be best and that are going to make the playoffs, the teams I expect to make the playoffs are the Cavs, the Celtics, the Magic, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Heat, and the Hawks. And I would expect the Bucks.
I don't.
Okay.
Not with this. Not at all, man. I'm sorry. Not with this at all.
I can't imagine where they would at that point.
I tell you, man, it's disgusting to watch. Like it's basically 2 players. It's 2 versus 5.
Yeah, and that's where the problem lies, because everybody else is playing good team basketball, and what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what are the Bucks doing?
So Chris Middleton signed a 2 to 3 year contract, $102 million. $102 million contract with the Milwaukee Bucks on the 23rd, like July 6th, 2023.
So
last year. So he got a 3-year extension, 2 to 3 year extension for what? To sit on the bench because of an ankle?
Well, I mean, you would think, and I'll grant you this, like, so when you're getting that, when he's healthy, he's really, really good. And so for me, I can understand when they're thinking about the potential of Chris Middleton coming when he's healthy. The problem is he's been less healthy than not. And I think that's what's throwing me. But what do? everybody knows he's not healthy. Nobody's gonna. I mean,
Look,
what do
and I'm
you
not
expect
saying,
to get?
Bloka, I'm not saying that the guy can't play, but this league is soft. This league is soft. It's great to sit to, I'm a fan. I'm a huge basketball fan. But I have to admit, with KG, when he says y'all have the right, y'all don't have a right to debate which era is better anymore. If you
Fair.
can't play games. And we're talking about injuries. Okay. Let's go to your team. Kawhi Leonard can't seem to just pick up when he touches the basketball, he get injured.
Man got
he walk, he get injured.
So I was watching a story the other night. I was watching a Instagram reel the other night. Shout out Pat Bev, former Razorback. He's on his podcast talking about how Kawhi is was given him. So I guess in this story, Pat had broken his wrist or something to that effect, and Kawhi was like, and Pat does this fantastic impression of Kawhi, like very very accurate feeling impression of Kawhi about him. Kawhi's telling Pat, you got to do the fingertip push-ups, the ones where you get on your fingertips because it strengthens the bones in your hand. That's great. What are you going to do about your leg, Kawhi? How can we fix your legs? Because he's only 32. And so one of the things I'm starting to enjoy about the NBA is that everybody's expecting to play till they're 35 or 40. We just talked about Dame. Dame's 34. I believe he turned 35 in March. And he's it's not out of the realm of possibility for him and Steph and some of those guys to play till they're 40. LeBron's kind of leading this era of, hey, 40-year-old basketball players isn't even that far-fetched anymore. When Mike was 40, he was on the Wizards and averaged 20 points a game, but I mean, like, we knew his time was up because his skill was propelled by his athleticism. But and so he was relying on his ability to score and his basketball acumen at that point. But it certainly wasn't the high-flying antics we were used to from Michael Jordan. LeBron is still very capable physically because, the 30-year difference between – or the 21-year difference between when Michael Jordan was 40 in 2003 and now in 2024, about to be 25, where, LeBron's been taking care of his body much better for 20 years, right? He's putting $1 million into his body, and look what that's yielded. And he's not alone. Everybody's doing it now.
Hey, look, man, he's right. Look, LeBron was made in a science lab. So he just they just put him in the lab, man. They're like, hey, we're gonna put you to sleep. I'm gonna go ahead and give you back these robots. They're like he's probably got nanobites and nanotechnology in his system.
He's got the same thing that Wakanda. They send him to Wakanda to get to rebuild his knees every summer.
Wakanda forever.
Oh my God, that's good. But that's the deal, man. Like you're talking about, we're talking about everybody having the opportunity to play into their 40s, man. So you gotta to think about it. 30 is not even young anymore. So why is Kawhi struggling to stay on the court? And he's not alone, right? So I'm going to jump into this injury report just to make myself safe. Like, you look at the injuries going on around the NBA, and it really is embarrassing, right? Like, some of the star players sitting out, Joel last night, I think, had 13 points. And the first words out of my mouth were, because he ruined my parlay, I should mention. But the first words out of my mouth were, hey, maybe you don't need to play back-to-backs anymore. You got a good point. That's another team that is underwhelming. The Paul George, getting Paul George, and I think he's played maybe 3 games 4 games this season.
Did you just say? Rewind. I know Bloka Minshew. You did not just say. I watched him last night. Yeah, maybe he shouldn't play back-to-backs. What? Are you giving him a pass? You sound like you're giving the man a pass.
So look, all right. So first and foremost, let me justify this because they played the Knicks last night, right?
Okay, and they play tonight. So what? You get paid to play.
The 76ers played the Knicks. Who's the Knicks starting center right now?
Cat.
Cat is giving up the most points in the restricted circle in the NBA. Players are shooting 70% in the restricted circle when being guarded by Karl Anthony Towns. Speaking of soft. How in the world did Joel Embiid only have 13 points? I would bet for him to get 15. 13 points? And he won't play tonight. So Paul George is out tonight. Joel Embiid is out tonight. Tyrese Maxey is out tonight. Now, Tyrese Maxey has a hamstring strain. I'll forgive that. That is fine. Because hamstrings take a long time to recuperate from. They take a long time to get over, and it's been a week. It's going to take much longer than that for Tyrese and his hamstring. I would take all the caution in the world with a hamstring. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that I don't think that these players are truly hurt. Some of them are. Kawhi is truly hurt. I would imagine. But my question lies in the fact that at some point, half of Kawhi is better than all of Amir Coffee. Especially in the conference freaking champion. Don't even let me. I don't even want to get started. Dude, like.
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to say this. If you look back, the AIs and the Kobe Bryants,
dude,
they played through injury because they wanted to play.
I won't bring up Kobe's Achilles because I don't think it's fair that everyone else who knew, like, yo, I just blew something in my foot and walking doesn't feel like the best thing to do right now. I won't bring that up, but I can name 100 times. We just talked about 40-year-old basketball players. Kobe scored 60 on his final game. Now, I know they gave him the green light and just kept pressing X button and letting him pass it. But, I mean, like, Kobe's final year, he averaged, 24? Let's pull that up.
I think so.
I know it was over 20. I don't recall him going under 20 for a long, long time. But that's the deal. Like when you, like you said, there wasn't a question. And so, shout out to Big Mark because I know he
averaged 17.
17. Okay, yeah, that which makes sense. There was, but you know what? You never questioned Kobe. And so when the Clippers went after James Harden and they brought back Russell Westbrook last summer, I said, I told my buddy KP, shout out my man KP, who lives in LA and is also a Clipper fan. And actually, he does get to attend a lot of Clippers games, lucky. So they say, the first thing I said was fantastic. This means that I won't have to worry about because I don't question if Paul George is hurt. If Paul George isn't playing, in my estimations, I believe he's really hurt. But I know Russell and James Harden are ring chasing, so they're going to come in and do everything they can to put us in position to win a championship. Kawhi Leonard not playing in the conference championship really made me question, and I get it. I think he tore his meniscus or something. I got to figure this out.
SAWFT, soft.
So, but that's the deal, man. Like, what is it exactly that I mean, at that point, it feels like you can, and maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't understand it. I don't know why you didn't, but in my estimations.
You know, another person that bothers me. I just want to throw this out here. Here's my angry take.
Here we go, Mr. Detail's angry take. the angry Puerto Rican with the angry take.
Zion Williamson needs to retire.
the Mr. Details angry take brought to you by Mr. Details.
Well, I'm gonna look at something real quick, and this really bothers me, man. We're gonna look at something.
Look, while you doing that, let me tell these folks about Mr. Details. Are you tired of seeing dirt and grime? Does it make you angry? Let Mr. Detail visit you today. Mr. Detail is a top-notch detail company. They will leave your car sparkling like new. Whether it's a full exterior wash, an interior vacuuming, or premium waxing, Mr. Detail's got you covered. With their expert staff and top-of-line products, you can trust that your vehicle will receive the best care possible. So don't settle for a dirty car or be angry about a dirty car any longer. Call Mr. Detail today, 479-283-1636. That's 479-283-1636. Call Mr. Detail and don't worry about nothing. As a matter of fact, you won't have to be angry about nothing either. Man, look.
Here, I'm going to throw this at you. There are 82 games in a season, all right?
82 games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to do the math on this. It's 82.
I'm scared of the number you're about to say.
Okay, there's 410 games out of the 5 seasons he should have played, right? So we take, give or take, say 10 games he's missed, So we'll say 400 games. Well, 10 games a season, 5, so minus 50. He played 360. That's not bad. 360 out of 410. You missed 10 games. That's not bad.
That's not as bad as I thought.
No. Wait. It gets worse.
Oh.
It gets worse. My man has played 190 games in 5 seasons.
Oh, my fault. Okay. All right. Nope. That's as bad as I thought.
He's played 6 games this year. 70 games. The most games he's played 2 games where he's played 2 seasons where he's played 60 games or more.
That's really
last year he played 70.
Yep.
The year before that he played 29. The year before that he played 61. And in his rookie year he played 24 games. Retire, Zion.
So you know what
retire.
You know what the crazy thing is? So here's what it is. I'm looking at his he's listed as 6'6", which I thought he was taller than that. But the problem is he's 284. That's a lot of weight for somebody who jumped. Listen, that's a lot of weight when it comes to exploding off the line, pushing over 300-pound tackles and going to tackle a 220-pound quarterback. But it's really, really expensive.
He's the modern day Greg Oden.
That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. And so the thing is, I'm not going to tell him to retire.
I'm telling him to retire. Joel Embiid needs to retire. Kawhi Leonard, retire. You're hurting the game of basketball. I understand you're a human being. I get it. Your body gets injured. But if you can't take care of your body and you have millions and millions of dollars and you can't take a page out of LeBron James' book, LeBron got to be laughing. Zion's the new face of basketball. When he first came in, he played 24 games.
There's no way. There's no way. So look, man, I tell you,
and he's out indefinitely. This year.
This time it's a hamstring. And again, I will admit these hamstrings are an issue. So I'm not going to. But again, the issue is the amount of explosion to lift up a 285-pound man, bro. That's massive. So yeah, the real deal is he's got to lose some weight, and not slim down a little bit. I'm talking 50 pounds. And coming from a man who weighs who's only lost 50 pounds in the last year, I'm with you. I get it. It's hard, especially living down here in New Orleans, because that etouffee is way too good. But bro, you're not supposed to be able to carry that much weight into the air. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect you.
How is he a power forward and not a small forward?
Because he's 280 pounds. We just talked about it. If he's 280 pounds, you're not going to. There's no way you're going to be able to carry that much weight into the air.
I got a vein sticking out.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. It angers me, man. How trash you can be. I'm sorry. I don't care. But I'm a fan first. But if I'm gonna play basketball and I'm gonna play ball, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get out there on the court and play in front of fans that want to see me.
Man, listen, and they're paying him $36 million. $36 million. Well, look, man, speaking of basketball, I got to tell you about my friend over at Top Kicks Official, man. Look, this is the squad, bro. If you want to get your kicks together, these are the people you got to go see. When you're ready to step your game up, a Top Kicks Official is where it's at. They've got the hottest, authentic kicks to take your shoe game to the next level. Whether you're on the court, on the field, or you're just hitting the streets, we got the perfect pair for you. With the most releases and the latest styles, you'll always stay ahead of the game. So don't just play the game, dominate with Top Kicks Official. You can shop now on Instagram at Top Kicks with a Z _official and step into greatness. You can check them out on our Instagram page. You can go over to their website and to their Instagram page as well. They always got the Top Kicks. Karen hit me last week. She was telling me about the Jordan. Oh, what are these that just came out? They're like 4s. So everyone's got a name now, right? It's the like the flu games and the there's another one for the Tar Heels and a couple more. So it's not just the number anymore. It's the game. It's the names now, and they got all the kicks over there, man. So look, when you're ready to get your game on, bro, this is the spot to go see. Top Kicks Official. Top Kicks with a Z _official on Instagram. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. After we come back, man, we got more angry Puerto Rican, and couple things we want to talk about. Interesting things going into college football. You got to come back to hear some fantastic takes about college football this weekend, right here on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Welcome back to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. I'm your man Bloka. If you just now joined us, man, you've been missing out on a fantastic show. The luckiest episode yet, episode 13, here at the Fanatic Sports Podcast. I got the angry Puerto Rican with me, Ant Roman, man. So Ant, let me tell you something, man. Some folks met her a few episodes ago. But if you're in Houston, you definitely need to go meet her. Whether you are already in outstanding shape and needing to tone up, or you want to build a booty, or you're ready to start your fitness journey, Valencia over at VFit Gym in Houston is the spot to be at. If you're ready to enhance your fitness journey, we believe that fitness is essential for a happy life. So as a member, you can enjoy 24-hour access. That's right. You can work out whenever you want. Located in the Galleria area of Houston, VFit offers free weight machines, a large turf area, and cardio equipment. Our personal trainers provide one-on-one sessions and small group classes to fit your needs. With affordable membership, it's easy to make fitness part of your lifestyle. So don't wait. Visit VFit Gym in Houston and turn your fitness goals into reality. Check us out at vfitgymshouston.com, or you can come by 5539 Richmond Avenue to get started today. VFit your way to a healthier you.
Shout out to Valencia.
Yo, man. So first thing first, man, that was such a dope episode. Getting to talk with her. And like I said, man, one of the coolest things about being in this industry, sports journalism and broadcast journalism, is that you get to make partners with some of the dope people, and I'm thankful to God that I get the opportunity to have such a good connections with everybody from like NoSo to like from NoSo to you to Blue, you name it, man. So many really dope people that I get the opportunity to work with. So it's even better when you get the chance to partner with those folks. We talk everything from sports to life, in and out of the ring, in and out of the lines. It's all very, very dope, man. So it's a blessing to get that opportunity to see and be around those people, and even more when we get the opportunity to work together. So I'm very, very thankful for that. So wanted to talk a little bit about and it looks like our Instagram has gone down, but it's crazy because I still see us on live on Instagram. So what is StreamYard doing?
No idea.
All right, I'm just gonna end it. We'll come back. I'm coming back to your Instagram, folks. I always put it back up on Instagram, anyways. That's been the constant lately, is having to go back and I just always post it in, so that way we can you can go back and rewatch. For those who haven't.
Breaking news.
Oh yeah, talk to me.
Breaking news. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's homes were burglarized the day before. They played the Saints.
Wow.
The before and the day of. The loss at Kelce's home totaled $21,000, and including $20,000 in cash. Mahomes confirmed his home was recently burglarized, but otherwise wouldn't get into the details as the investigation is still going on.
So look, man,
how do you? I gotta ask this: how y'all don't have security?
So all right. So this is the third instance that I've heard of. I don't know if you heard last week about Bobby Portis getting his house getting burglarized. Now he was on the road. Thank God nobody was home. Nobody got hurt. But I forgot the number he said that he lost. But it was a big amount. And I am just blown away with these people. And I don't know if they know, I gotta think that they're staying in super nice, parts of town. Of course in Milwaukee is the same thing. And people love Bobby up in Milwaukee. He's gonna stay there for the rest of his career and probably live out there after he retires. He'll keep a home and keep a presence in Milwaukee. I'm not I don't understand why people. I've never understood theft. Right? Don't steal from me, bro. Ain't nothing I got you can't go get. I ain't did nothing special enough that you can. That I don't have anything special enough that you can take from me that you can't get yourself. Nothing. I think my kids are special.
They need to hit up Sean, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They need to hit up Sean. They need to hit up Arkansas Premier Paralegal.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Because I mean, like this is the wild thing about it, man. Like this is I can't gather where you decide I'm gonna go into this home and I'm gonna burglarize this home. You know, something's got to be up. Something's got to be up. It's happening all over, and it's just. Are we talking about a hungry people? Are people not getting fed enough? Why are we going and attacking those who have plenty? And you know, this ain't Robin Hood. This ain't real. You know, that's a story. In a real story, Robin Hood gets hung. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. You can find your work.
It just baffles me, man. Like, do better, citizens. Do better.
Do better for ourselves and others. And especially because, and here's the thing, those three individuals I'm talking about, Bobby, Pat, and Kelsey, are all well documented and doing plenty for their communities. For Kansas City, not just winning championships, they're giving back, they're feeding, they're hosting events that raise money for things. Come on, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing that we're robbing people?
Here's what I want to know. Travis Kelce, why you got $20,000 just sitting at home?
I also wondered that too, but look,
it don't matter though. Hey, look, they can chop it up to a loss. Hey, KT, let me borrow some cash.
Look, here's the deal. Up until 2 weeks ago, Travis Kelce was killing my fantasy league and robbing from the Chiefs.
I'm 2-8.
So. I think I'm 4 and something. I'm 3 or 7. I don't know.
I'm 2-8. I don't want to talk about fantasy.
It's not good. It's not good.
Let's get it. Just jump into this rivalry, man. Let's jump into this rivalry, man.
So the biggest rivalry in my life. And look, here's the thing that kind of cracks me up about it is that. So I'll never forget this, right? So 2003. Is Texas, Vince Young in Texas versus Reggie Bush and that conglomerate of superstar athletes at USC. And so I'm so happy because I wanted to hate on USC. You know how it is, right? You think about the Lakers when they had their three-peat, the Bulls when they had their 2 three-peats, you know, the Patriots. When teams start winning too much, Alabama, Georgia started getting to that point. You know, when teams start winning too much, the fans, the outside of your fan base, the fans will turn on you quickly. And USC was in the middle of that. You know, they were just too dominant at that point. And it was Reggie Bush and Lindell White and Matt Leinart and that whole squad full of just studs. If I'm not mistaken, was Palomalu on that team? No, this was 05. Palomalu was in the league. So, but I'll never forget. So I'm running around. I'm excited because Vince Young has beaten USC. And the first thing the old head tells me is, how could you root for Texas? Man, I'm only 39. I turned 40 in March. And, you know, so for me, it didn't dawn on me the same way. This didn't hold a lot of weight for me the same way that these old heads are, man. They, you know, like me, my generation, we hate LSU. Boo LSU. But them old heads hated Texas with everything in them.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. 57. That's the number. 57. You want to know why?
Okay.
Texas is going to come into our field, and they're going to get the 57th win over us.
This could be the year.
And I love the rivalry, but what I seen 2 weeks ago was not Razorback football. And I hope this bye week kind of helped out a little bit because I really wanted to be an exciting game. But I did say this: the 11 o'clock games are bad for them.
I'm not fond of the 11 o'clock games. Not fun. I like it because it kind of is prime time almost. Like you get a lot of eyes on you at 11 o'clock, and so they really have done they've done the job of making it prime time. But I'm not big on the early games. As a player, I didn't like playing the early games. Like the 1 o'clock slot was a bit too early for me to play a ball game. I like to play football around 3. I like a nice 3 o'clock start. I don't mind a 6 o'clock game, prime time, big lights. You know, the cameras are on, everybody's ready to watch us. I can live with that. But I like to play football around 3 p.m. That's when I like to do it. 11 o'clock, a little too early in the morning for me. Because you know that means you got to wake up at 6:30, right? We got walkthroughs at 8. Or I'm sorry, breakfast. Well, no, you walk through before you do breakfast. You walk through before you do breakfast. And then breakfast at 10 or at 9 or 8:30 or 9. Then you got then you go, you get dressed. We're stretching at 9 on the field at 10 for stretches. And then with last minute meeting, prayer, you know, you run out of the paper and you play the ball game at 11. Too early. Too early for a Saturday morning. Tailgaters got to be there at 4:30 or 5 to set up. And you know, down here that means they gotta bring their pots to boil their turkey necks and all of this. Man, look, you got to get your grease for your chicken and your fish, and you got to make all your food on Friday evening. You know, at 4 p.m. It's too early. It's too early for anything. 11 o'clock is when we need to start tailgating, not when we need to be kicking off.
Look, I'm gonna say this: in order for the Razorbacks to win this game, you got to stop yours, and you got to. What's that receiver? What's his name? For Texas, I had him tipping my tongue. Because our secondary, man, our secondary, we need help on secondary, man. We need help.
Well, because there's injuries in the secondary, and that's what the problem is. Is that we're injured, and so the players that we were looking forward to having in the start of the season have gotten hurt, and that's what it comes to, and you wonder, you know, what can you do? Isaiah Bond is the receiver you're probably thinking of.
Yeah,
This kid is bad. He's something. 5 touchdowns, 435 yards. 16 yards a catch. He's doing well. So I'll be honest and tell you I don't have any hope for us to win this game.
look,
I wouldn't be shocked.
I think the keys to this game
Yeah.
is time of possession. I think the key to the game is time of possession. You don't want that. You don't want Texas offense on the field. If we can keep our guys, you know, the defense off the field for a long period, I say that gives us an opportunity to win time of possession. Time of possession. We control the clock. We win the game. But Texas is too fast at scoring, man.
So I was just about to bring up a point, right? So one of the interesting things for me is that, you know, so behind Quinn Ewers, which is why I'm positive he's leaving this year, if he's got any sense, is that Arch Manning is behind him, right? So Arch Manning is throwing the ball 90 times. Quinn Ewers throwing the ball 215 times. There is only about a 600-yard difference between them. Or is that, 800 yards. 1722 for Quinn Ewers, 939. But we're talking about almost 150 more times that Quinn has thrown the ball. Arch Manning's got pop when he throws it. He's averaging 10 yards a throw, where Quinn's only averaging 8 yards a throw. Not to mention Archie Manning Jr. can run the ball. He's not a statue. He can really run it much better than Quinn Ewers. You know, he's a different level player.
Look, the spread is 13.5. The over under is
That close as the Dickens. But it's simple, man. Like you said it. Time of possession is the way that you win this ball game. And I've been saying it for 3 weeks now because you watch LSU and the way they got beat. The last two times they've gotten beat, it was by the exact same way that I thought that I predicted that what we would do. You run the RPO, you run the read option, you run the ball with our bevy of running backs, whether it's Braylon Russell or is it Russell's his last name? Braylon Russell. You got DeBinion, I know Rodney Hill's been hurt, and then Jaquindon got hurt as well. But still with DeBinion and with Russell and the way that Taylor Green runs the ball, this should be cake. Bobby is so bad at overthinking things. He gets too cute for me. You don't have to be that cute. It's simple. We are going to line up with 2 tight ends, and we're going to beat up your defensive tackles. And your defensive end on the backside is going to have a terrible day because he's going to crash, and I'm going to pull with Taylor Green and get around the backside and go run. Or if he sits and waits, I'm giving it to Braylon and Jaquindon and DeBinion at that D tackle, and we are going to dominate them. And then when the linebackers start to walk up, I'm going to hit that RPO slant right behind it. It's not that hard. And you do that 15 yards at a time. Not to mention you got speed on speed on speed and outstanding receivers. Your top 2 receivers are surefire, can't miss. Anywhere is in their radius receivers in Tesla and Andrew Armstrong. So when you got that, and oh, by the way, you got a surefire tight end up the middle with great hands and breakaway speed, and Luke has. There's too many weapons on this team for he's trying to scheme like he's back at Western Kentucky. You don't have to do that. Well, you didn't have to against LSU and some of these teams. You can just play regular football. We don't have to do anything special because we've got enough talent offensively and defensively. You know, Trav and T. Will and them guys is going to have Sori and everybody running around, flying around. And the better that the offense plays, the better the defense is going to play. So help me understand what we're doing. It's simple. Now
look, we lost. Sure. We lost 63-31.
It's crazy.
Singleton, Malachi had 11. I think he was 11 for 14, 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interception.
Man, and the crazy thing, that's good numbers, bro. That's good numbers. You just got to play a little bit of defense at that point. But
I mean, I told you, man. I don't know, man. There's just something off with there's something off with playing the 11 o'clock game for the Razorbacks, man. They come out like lazy,
flat. So let me ask you this, because I told you I've got no faith that we're gonna win this game. To be honest with you, I mean, if Ole Miss hung 60 on us, and Texas is way better than Ole Miss, you know, in my estimation, I think they're gonna hang 40 or 50 on us too. And so, because again, I feel like Bobby's gonna overthink this thing, and we're gonna lose. That's my thoughts. That's how I'm feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I hate Texas, and it's at home. I'd love for us to beat them. But my question here is, if we get 40 or 50 points hung on us by Texas, does Sam Pittman last the weekend?
No. Yeah.
I think that he's lost.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna wait. I think he'll last the weekend. I think what's gonna happen, he's gonna, because we for sure gonna get that win over Louisiana.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
So there's our 6th win right there. There's our 6th win. There's bowl game. We'll go to. But I feel like that's charity. Going to a bowl game at 6-6 should not be a goal. I'm sorry. Like you can't be like, oh, we went 6-6. We go to a bowl game. There should be no celebration at all.
You go there, do your work, and get out of here.
I don't even think you should be rewarded.
You go there, you do your work, and you get out of there.
I think you should not be rewarded. I
honestly feel like, bowl games need to start at 7 or 8. Need to start at 8 games. We got too many bowls, and I know that's a lot of money. But okay, so let's say it this way: if the only bowl games that should be nationally broadcasted are between 8-win teams. How about that? If you can't get an 8-win team, then you're not gonna get on national TV.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of the 6. Oh, we're gonna win 6 games. You know, we got this in the bag. Even if we lose to Texas, and we've lost to Oklahoma State, and we lost to Ole Miss.
Hey, that Oklahoma State game hurt my soul because that's the one we should have won.
Yeah,
that's the one we should have won.
I don't think our players have confidence in themselves. I don't think our team has confidence. And if you sit there and you tell them, well, don't worry, we lose to Texas, we can still beat Louisiana Tech and we can make a bowl game. Yay! I'm sorry. I'm not with it, man. I'm not with the whole 66, man.
And I'm not gonna take away from those who have the amount of hard work that these players are putting in every day. I won't argue with that. They're giving their best. I believe that. But I feel like at the end of the day, man, there's got to be something done because you got these 6-6 teams coming in here that are literally trash. Literally trash. So moving. I want to move on because it's starting to piss me off. In the conference, there's also another top 10 matchup. In Tennessee going over to is it called Between the Hedges? In Georgia, in Athens, Between the Hedges. That this is going to be an interesting game, and I believe that the rankings were changed yesterday is when it came out. And Tennessee is still number 7. Georgia dropped all the way to 13 or to 12 after their loss to Ole Miss. And so, but I made these last night before they came out. Your thoughts on Georgia and Tennessee?
If Nico can get it going,
yeah,
I think Georgia's in for a long, long day. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I'm gonna go the other way because I believe, and Nico's gonna be a really good quarterback 3 years from now when he gets drafted. He's a really great player. He's 6'6". Reminds me of Vince Young a little bit in the way he operates, his mobility, the way he plays the game. It's very, very impressive. And he's going to be really, really good in a while. But right now, against this Georgia team who just got their butt handed to them by Ole Miss, I don't know. I don't know because that defense is full of talent.
Actually, Tennessee is ranked 6. Georgia is ranked 11th.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the ESPN thing, and it'd be cracking me up to see all the different groups that rank who where and what they go with. Did you look at the what's the playoff football rankings?
No.
Okay, so so this is college football. I need to find that's the coaches poll.
And we got to see if Nico does play, by the way. I forgot. He's in concussion protocol.
Hurt again. Yeah, he got hurt again. And so that's also an issue. That's my biggest concern with Nico is keeping him upright and keeping him healthy. And he does run the ball a lot. And like I said, he does operate just like Vince Young did. And that lends itself to a lot of big hits. And so I want him to stay healthy. But yeah, so you got Tennessee in this game?
Yeah. I'm taking Tennessee.
Okay, I got Georgia. I'm thinking defensively they're going to do. They're going to play well enough and shut down that hyper offense, especially even if Nico is there. I think they're going to shut his offense down. And I only say that because our defense shut him down. I mean, our defense played really, really well against them. It was very impressive to watch them play, and they were exposed for a couple weeks in a row after that. They were exposed, and so I'll definitely take Georgia defensively to get the job done against the Tennessee. So we step outside the conference. I'm interested in this one too. All right. So Clemson goes into Acrisure to see Pitt. Pitt has been quietly putting together a pretty good season. I don't know. So from a ranking standpoint in the college football or in the college playoffs, I believe they're definitely on the outside looking in right now. They don't even the college football rankings don't even have them ranked in the top 25. But I know they're ranked in. I think because they took an L, but I think that they bounced back against Clemson. I think this is going to be a really good game, which is why I put it on the board. But I think that Pitt gets back into because you're in Acrisure. I think if it was the other way around in South Carolina in Clemson, I would certainly go with Clemson. But I think that the home field is going to make a big difference. But I think that Pitt gets back into the top 25 with this win over Clemson.
I got Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
I got Clemson in this. Look, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very exciting football to watch.
Oh yeah, and so that Clemson team offer, they've got some talent, especially at the quarterback position with Cade Klubnik. He's entering into that range where old Sunshine was, right? Where he's entering in that range where Sunshine Trevor Lawrence was. So the last game I wanted to talk about before we get out of here, man. And it's not it is a big game because it is conference.
The Utes! The Utah Utes!
Hey, man, look, so I don't know if you got a chance to watch the last game. I last Saturday night I was out and about, but I got to check it out while I was out. One of the interesting thing was that BYU had lost their last 27 games when they entered the fourth quarter down. Or 26 games, I think it was, and this was the 27th game. They were in a spot where they could have lost the 27 game, and they came back. And so after the game, Utah's AD was just so frustrated, saying because there was a controversial call. I believe it was a pass interference, and they said that that they had gotten robbed. Utah did, and that they had the game stolen from them, and went on and on about the difference with having losing to BYU. And nothing frustrates me more than that. There's 60 games in a football game, 60 plays in a football game. So you got 60 chances offensively or defensively to win the game. And it doesn't take but 2 or 3 plays. I will admit that, right? Miss block here, holding call there, and it has big effects when you don't do your job. But if you win those other 59 plays, those other 56, 57 plays, you're probably going to win the game. So if it's all on that one play, I'll never forget. Our kicker Jules was having an off night, missing PATs, and that came back to get us in the end because after his second or third missed PAT, we started going for it, but we weren't getting the 2-point conversion. And so I can't blame Jules because how many 3 and outs did we have? Right? How many times did I miss a block? Right? How many times did we miss we not catch the ball, not look the ball in, try to turn and run before we got to the before we got the ball, right? It ain't just on the kicker. It ain't just on, that defensive tackle that jumped off sides from a great hard count from Russell Wilson. It's on the entire team and the other 59 plays that came before that one, right? Because for when you got the type of team, you just can't. I hate when people blame. Oh, the refs stole this game from us. Oh, the refs did this. The refs did that. We started the day off talking about lucky. The Chiefs are lucky to be 9-0. You mean to tell me they got lucky 9 times? Really? I'm not. I just can't. I'm not gonna bite on that, man.
I got Colorado in this, and Bloka, I gotta head out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so do I, man. So look, but for the angry Puerto Rican, Anthony Roman, my name is Bloka Mitchell. Can't say thank you enough for everybody that's joined us. Shout out to Stephen Fontenot, who picked Georgia versus Tennessee. Definitely got to shout him out on Facebook. Thank you so much to everybody for checking us out. Same bat time, same bat place next Wednesday,
Yes,
2 p.m. Central on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. And as I always say, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Thank y'all so much for